Todd Bowles throws Shilo Sanders under the bus in brutal one-word message after rookie's ejection. Introduction. A night that changed the narrative. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers entered their preseason matchup against the Buffalo Bills with one goal in mind: evaluation. August football isn't about wins and losses. It's about reps, tape, and giving the coaching staff reasons to believe in the 90 players fighting for 53 roster spots. Every snap counts. Every special teams tackle matters. Every decision could tip the scale in or out of a player's favor. And in the unforgiving spotlight of an NFL preseason game, one mistake can undo weeks of hard work. For Shilo Sanders, son of Hall of Famer Deion coach Prime Sanders, this truth came crashing down in brutal fashion. His preseason had been defined by grit, hustle, and flashes of promise. But all of that took a back seat in the second half against Buffalo when one moment of lost control, a swing at tight end Zach Davidson, resulted in an immediate ejection. What followed was even more damaging. His head coach, Todd Bowles, labeled the incident with a word no rookie wants attached to his name: inexcusable. That single word encapsulated the icy reality of the NFL. For a veteran like Mike Evans or Antoine Winfield Jr., mistakes might be survivable. For an undrafted rookie like Shilo Sanders, mistakes can be career-defining. The incident, from hustle to heartbreak in seconds, it all happened in the blink of an eye. Davidson and Sanders locked up during a downfield play. Tempers flared, arms tangled, and in a split-second decision born of frustration, Shilo threw a punch. The referee's flag cut the air, and the message was clear: immediate ejection. The Bucs were suddenly down a safety, and Sanders was headed to the locker room, leaving his teammates to finish the fight without him. Bowles didn't sugarcoat the situation in his post-game remarks. "You know you can't throw punches in this league. It's an inexcusable thing that will get you out every time," he told reporters. No elaboration, no excuses, just a straight line drawn in black ink. There is no tolerance for emotional lapses like this. The rookie's uphill battle. Why this hurts more for Shilo Sanders. For context, Shilo Sanders is not a first-round pick with guaranteed money or a multi-year contract. He's an undrafted rookie safety out of Colorado, carrying his father's name but none of the privilege that name might imply in the NFL. Every inch of his career has to be earned. Before Saturday night, Sanders was stacking just enough positive plays to stay in the conversation. 3 solo tackles across preseason action. A willingness to throw himself into special teams coverage. Signs of steady progress, even if not spectacular. But when you're on the bubble, the ledger is brutally simple. Every negative mark carries twice the weight of a positive one. Coaches don't just look at stats. They look at film, penalties, and moments of discipline or lack thereof. Unfortunately for Sanders, his tape now carries 2 glaring red flags: a pass interference penalty earlier in camp, an ejection for throwing a punch against Buffalo. In the cold calculus of roster evaluation, those aren't just mistakes. They're liabilities. The Bowles factor, why inexcusable mattered so much. Todd Bowles is not just any coach. He's a defensive-minded leader who values discipline above all else. A former safety himself, Bowles knows what it takes to survive at the position. Physicality, awareness, and above all, composure. When Bowles uses the word inexcusable, it's not rhetorical. It's a public declaration of standard. It's him telling his locker room, and by extension the fan base, that certain mistakes cross a line. Hustle is coachable. Technique can be refined. But discipline, that's non-negotiable. By singling out Sanders' act as inexcusable, Bowles wasn't just criticizing a rookie. He was sending a message to the entire roster. If you want to wear pewter and red this fall, you must control your emotions. And in doing so, he may have sealed Shilo's fate. The bigger picture, what went wrong for the Bucs beyond Sanders? It would be unfair to frame Tampa's 23-19 loss as solely defined by Sanders' ejection. Truthfully, the Bucs had bigger problems across the board. The box score revealed cracks that extended beyond one rookie's lapse. Total yards: Buffalo outgained Tampa 375 to 241. Rushing battle. Bills 105 yards, Bucs 45 yards. Time of possession. Buffalo 35:38, Tampa 2400 hours 22. Passing efficiency. Bills averaged 8.4 yards per attempt. Bucs managed only 5.2. The result? Tampa was bullied in the trenches, beaten in efficiency, and left chasing Buffalo's pace. There were some silver linings. Backup QB Connor Bazelak's 12 of 19, 107-yard, 1 TD performance, and receiver Tez Johnson's 8 catches for 58 yards and a score. But when you're outgained by over 130 yards and lose the time of possession battle by 11 minutes, positives get buried quickly. And that's where Sanders' ejection hurt even more. Depth players are supposed to swing the margins, covering kicks, flipping field position, creating hidden yardage. Instead, Tampa lost one of its depth defenders in the exact phase of the game where Bowles expects them to shine. Sanders' crossroads, from Colorado to cut day. The NFL is ruthless in its decision-making. By August 27th, all 32 teams must trim their rosters to 53 players. That means hard conversations and broken dreams. For Shilo Sanders, this moment has likely shifted him from bubble player with upside to bubble player with red flags. His task now is monumental. Rebuild trust with the coaching staff, show restraint in practice, and prove that this was an anomaly, not a pattern. He has only days, maybe even just practices, to do so. And the name Sanders doesn't earn him slack. If anything, it places more eyes on him. With his brother Shadur fighting for a quarterback job in Cleveland and his father Dion commanding headlines in Colorado, Shilo has been both blessed and burdened by the family spotlight. NFL coaches don't care about pedigree. They care about results and reliability. The emotional cost, lessons of control. It's easy to forget that Shilo is 24 years old, still learning how to channel competitive fire into controlled aggression. He's built a reputation, going back to his Colorado days, as a hitter who thrives on energy and momentum. But in the NFL, passion without control is chaos. A punch that might fire up a college sideline becomes a career-threatening decision in the pros. Bowles' one-word verdict, inexcusable, wasn't just about this play. It was about teaching a lesson. Talent means nothing without discipline. Fan reactions. Divided between forgiveness and frustration. Social media lit up as news of Sanders' ejection spread. Some fans sympathized, noting that Davidson may have provoked the reaction. Others expressed frustration, pointing out that every rookie knows the cardinal rule: never throw a punch. Shilo's energy is great, but man, you can't be the guy hurting your team, one fan posted. Another added, this is exactly why it's so hard for UDFAs to make it. One mistake and you're done. The debate mirrors the crossroads Sanders himself faces. Can he convince the Bucs he's worth the risk? Or has the emotional lapse already written his ending? The harsh reality of the NFL bubble. Shilo Sanders' story is a microcosm of the unforgiving NFL landscape. Every preseason, hundreds of players just like him fight for jobs they may never secure. Coaches love hustle, but they love reliability more. And when cut-down day arrives, the deciding factor often isn't raw talent. It's trust. Right now, Sanders has to convince Bowles and his staff that they can trust him not to self-destruct in critical moments. If he can't, his time in Tampa may be over before it ever truly began. Conclusion. What's next for Shilo Sanders? The question hanging in the air is unavoidable. Did Shilo Sanders just punch away his chance at making the Buccaneers' 53-man roster? The odds aren't in his favor. Bowles' post-game words suggest patience is thin, and roster competition is fierce. If Sanders doesn't make the cut, he could find himself hoping for a practice squad slot, either in Tampa or elsewhere. But the bigger lesson here extends beyond roster math. For Sanders, this is about growth. Every NFL player faces a moment that tests not just their talent, but their discipline. Saturday night in Buffalo may be that moment for him. The ball is now in his court. The only question is whether he can respond in time.